I actually think that from all the advertising channels right now, print is definitely overrated. And the other thing is that the other thing that makes me steer away from print is the lack of trackability, if that's a word, like being able to track what happens with that ad. I mean, you pay $10,000 for a full page ad in a travel magazine or something, and it's like, okay, I don't know exactly what happened with that ad. I don't know how many people actually saw it, how many people did anything, went to the website from it. You can put a particular URL, which people may or may not use, a phone number, but it's really, really, the ROI is so hard to track that it's basically just throwing money and hoping that it works, but you don't even know if it works. So that's something that is hard for a marketer to put your money on, you know.
So this is going to be our first disagreement of the day. I'm going to go, and I've only changed in the last probably 6 months on this.
I thought you were going to say in the last 6 minutes.
That it is not underrated, but it's slightly underrated. And here's
underrated.
Yes, and here's why. Now, for the past 10 years, it has definitely been overrated. If you asked me a year ago, I would have said 100% overrated. But, I'm going to go slightly underrated. Here's why. One, I think the right way to do it is not to just buy an ad in a magazine and be done. Okay, that is definitely not a good idea. But doing a blend of digital marketing with that print ad, I think can be very effective. Because if you do something like, okay, the reason why I think it's underrated is because you said the cost. The cost of print ads has gone down so much because of as everybody knows, print media has gone down so much, that I heard ridiculously low prices. Like I heard, and I don't know this for sure, I can maybe try to get the official rate card, but like Wired magazine, which used to be one of the most premier tech magazines out there. Okay, everybody in the Valley read it. Everybody in tech basically read this magazine, and these are people with spending dollars. Okay, high salaries, everything. That the Wired UK, a full page ad was less than $10,000. That's really, really cheap because what you get when you are in a premier magazine like a Wired. Let me finish. I'll let you respond. I let you go. I want to give my case. Let me finish my case.
I really like Bernie Sanders.
Yeah, I know.
Put your hand down.
Hold on. Wall Street. Okay, that's my Bernie Sanders impression.
Okay, good.
I have not practiced it much. You lost my train of thought. Okay, so being in a premier magazine does have a brand value next to it, because when you're on one page, if you're, let's say you're an aspiring clothing brand, okay, and you're a new name, and on one page is a Gucci ad, okay, because Gucci actually does lots of print. So say one page is a Gucci, and then right next to it is your MGR clothing, okay, just you being in the same pages as Gucci upgrades your brand value. It's very similar to like why it's so valuable to an up-and-coming brand to get into a store like Neiman Marcus, because then you're on the same shelves as all these other premium brands, and it elevates you. It puts you in the same light, the same talking space as those brands. And that's what print can do that digital cannot do. And second of all, because the prices have gone down so much, and because now you can target, for example, if you buy that ad for $10,000 in Wired magazine, you can target people who are fans and readers of Wired magazine on Facebook and Instagram, wherever, and send them ads in addition that complement the print ad that you did. And that blending of digital and physical with the branding abilities that print has over digital, I think makes it slightly underrated. I'm not saying everybody should go out and buy a bunch of print ads, but if you do it right and you do the right placements with the right magazines, I would only do premier magazines. I would not do low budget magazines, because the only thing that print has is that it gives you more branding.
Okay, but let me ask you something now. Since you are defending this now, you are subscribed to Wired magazine, by the way, right?
Yes, I am. It's one of the few I subscribe to.
Okay, so we get Wired magazine at the office, and there's a couple of issues there for the last couple of months, right? Have you seen those issues?
Wow.
Okay.
It depends.
No.
Hold on.
Yes or no? Yes or no? Have you even opened those magazines? Because
I don't think I opened this one.
Okay, cool. cool. Because I was going to say, you just quoted me before when we were getting those magazines in the mail saying, oh, I don't even read this thing because I look at the online version all the time.
No, that's not true. That's not true.
Well, that's what you said.
No, I like the physical. And
which you haven't seen yet in 2 months.
It's true.
It's still shrink wrapped, by the way.
No, it's true. It's true. It's one of those things where I got to think of a year for free or something for some.
It doesn't matter.
Hold on. Let me explain. And then, these magazines are so cheap these days. I think it was like $10 for a year. And I said, okay, whatever. I'll pay $10 for the year. Of course. And cheap. You get a digital subscription too. But no, I agree. I agree with what you're saying. I totally agree.
So you have a $10,000 ad and nobody's even, subscribers are not even seen.
But that's not everybody. Okay. And yes, I agree with what you're saying about the circulation. I think it's dumb that they say, oh, the average magazine gets read 3 times. So if we have a subscriber list of 1 million, we actually get 3 million readers. I think that's bullshit. I agree. But I'm saying that the cost, my only thing is that the costs have gone down so much.
Of course.
That it's actually a good buy again. It's like, a stock that's dropped 90%.
Of course, I understand. But you have an ad. You're spending $10,000 just to be next to Gucci and improve your brand. Okay, fine. You can do that. You know how much you can do with those $10,000 on social media advertising?
But what I'm
paid
saying
advertising
is,
with Google?
hold on. Again, when we're going to the physical kind of older school marketing, I wouldn't tell a client who has a $20,000 a month budget to go buy a $10,000 print ad. Absolutely not. But I'm talking about companies and brands who are already spending a lot on digital and finding diminishing returns, which is happening more and more. When you're spending $100,000 a month on digital, it gets hard to keep up those high returns.
Like I said, there's a point of diminishing returns, but I'd rather
so if you're spending $100,000 a month,
some video content, podcasting, all the things that are a little more, distributable, and I have more control versus a magazine that people are subscribed. And even subscribers don't even read them. And it's true. And even if I read, because I have actually read the Wire magazines, and I skip through the ads, and I just look at the articles. Even other magazines that are very sports related that I like I subscribe to Red Bull magazine, which is called the Red Bulletin or something. It's a very Red Bull marketing magazine, but they do advertise other things like GoPro cameras and this and all the action sports type related products. And I don't even see those, I mean, I'm just so limited for time that even for one magazine that I actually look at and I page through and other stuff, I just skip through the ads all the time. We're subscribed to a couple of news magazines too, like Business Week and Bloomberg Business Week and some others. And they have these editorials in the middle where it's like 4 or 5 pages about some business. I think it's like a Chinese advertising for the Business Bureau, whatever, or any country. And you can tell that. You just basically skip through those. So I just think that print advertising is overrated because I don't care if it's $10,000. Yeah, it used to be $50, now it's $10.
Well, what's
but that's
the
for
price?
a reason.
What's the price that it makes sense? Okay, let's go to the extreme. If I told you can get a free full page in Wired, would you do it?
Well, I would prefer.
Hold on, answer that. Would you do it?
Well, I would do it with a different condition. What I would say is let me tell you. I go to Wired magazine and I said, I want my banner on your website.
Yes.
And then you can give me as a side note.
I would, the way to do it is blended. I would not just buy a print ad and be done. I don't think that's an effective method these days. But if you blend it with digital marketing, a combination, because the price has gone down so much. Okay, answer my question. If I said, hey, here's you can get a free full page in Wired, you would say yes,
free,
right?
Of course.
Okay,
free is
okay,
free.
So that's the extreme.
Right.
And if I told you, it totally depends on circulation. I don't know what Wired UK's circulation is, but let's just say you have a magazine with 1 million subscribers, okay? That's a lot. Let's do 100,000. 100,000 subscribers, okay? Paying subscribers. Free, you say yes. What's the price at which you say no?
Well, I mean, I need to see if we compare it to like any other digital marketing, CPM type things.
Right. That's my point.
I look at a CPM
10,000
and I say, okay, first of all, for real circulation, not the 3 people read the magazine because you have it on an airplane and leave it behind and the next passenger is going to read it. I don't give a crap about that stuff. But if they're telling me, okay, you're going to pay $5-6 CPM for this ad, and I see that
no, but that's low. I mean,
of course.
The CPM... There's different CPMs, like a Facebook CPM, it totally is very context dependent, but say $11, $12 is like very average. That is to be on a Facebook feed, which has much less brand value. And people scroll. You talk about flipping through a magazine. You know how fast people scroll past ads on their phone? So that's 12. If I told you could get in a magazine for a $20 CPM, would you do it?
I have to.
Yes,
No,
you would.
no, seriously.
If it's hyper targeted, like, okay, Wired is a good example, and you have a SaaS company, and I say, hey, for a $20 CPM, you can get a full page.
If the package
you
comes,
would do it.
If the package, to me, the critical part is just you isolate just the print ad, I'll say no. If you tell me, okay, but the print ad comes,
like I said, you have to
of
blend
course.
it.
Yeah,
a blended approach.
Okay.
But you pay a $20 CPM for that magazine page. Would you do it?
Yes.
I think yes.
Yes.
So
if it
what's
comes-
the price at which you would say no? And that's the whole point. Yeah, if you tell me it's $1 million, obviously screw you.
Well,
but for 10 grand in Wired magazine, and this is just one example.
But to me, see, the thing is that to me, it has more value when the ad comes with the digital component. That's why I think I'll reverse the table, because normally they sell you the print
they
ad.
almost always come with digital components these days.
Well, now, yeah, but they sell you the print ad and they say, oh, and you also get these banners here and banners there or whatever.
But I wouldn't.
But
yeah,
I'd rather have a magazine sell me the online advertising and then say, oh, by the way, we'll give you also a quarter page or a half page.
Obviously, I'm very much simplifying it. Normally, when you do a print deal, you don't just buy a page; you do packages and stuff. But
Right.
I'm just simplifying it for argument's sake. I just, again, like I said, you asked me 6 months ago, I said screw print. But now I just think because it's become so cheap that it actually has some value only in the premier magazines. I would not do it in some magazine that is not premium, so to speak. But in a premium magazine with readers who, like I said, you have to look at who else is advertising that magazine. So if Gucci's advertising that magazine and you can get a page for 10 grand, maybe it's worth it. That's my point. If you have a bigger budget, again.
All right. So overrated or underrated?
Slightly underrated.
Okay.
That's
I'll
our first
say-
disagreement. We got to disagree sometimes.
No, that's fine.
We can't
We
agree on
disagree
everything.
a lot of things. I'll say to me it's overrated.
All right.
Obviously, there's always exceptions, but it's overrated. It's definitely it's not my first or second
No,
or third priority as far as
it's
advertising.
only when you have a bigger budget. Not if you're a startup with a very limited budget. Do not worry about print. I'm
Yeah, but
saying
it's-
for bigger budgets.
Anyways, let's move on.